Okay, there you go. I think that's working. Is this let's share my screen? It's a little bit delayed.
Okay,
And
there you go. I think that's working.
there you go. Cool. Perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, so can you guys see my screen and all that?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So let me walk you guys through a couple of things that we upgraded on the website because we've done a lot of work here. So first of all, when you go into our AI, you'll notice that a lot of things have been cleaned up around here. Um, so things just generally flow a little bit better. There's like a lot of like little details that have been made easier. We've really improved how our AI works. That's kind of the biggest upgrades we made over the past week, right? So for example, if I say, make me a strategy that trades, I don't know, SPY based on the 200-day moving average, right? So if I want to do something like that, it's pretty easy. I just type that in and it'll go off and build it. Before, it was starting to do this. Like I actually think I demoed this to you guys like 2 weeks ago, but it's really gotten a lot more tightened up now. So if you watch it, it actually follows the plan a lot more closely. When the plan is done, it actually folds itself in. It's a lot easier now if you like stop and then try to restart the plan. Like that all works a lot better too. And it's just generally a lot smarter, right? So I think you'll notice that if you go in here, that it like listens to you better and is generally quite a bit smarter, right? So we had some stuff where like people were saying back test it for 30 days and it would just keep back testing for 7 days. So like it listens better for those types of things and like generally is a lot smarter when it comes to code. So there's a lot of really big improvements that have happened here, right? So here we're telling it to make a 200-day moving average strategy, right? And it's able to go through all these things pretty quickly, right? So it's opening strategy file, loading the skills that it needs to load. We also clean this up so you can see that the skills look a little nicer now. Before I thought they looked a little weird. And then when you scroll over them, it tells you a lot of details about exactly what's happening here. So if it's saying searching the web for three items, it'll tell you exactly what it looked for. So it's looking for here SPY market regime July for S&P 500, and then SPY recent catalyst for July, inflation, Fed earnings, market breadth, searching the VIX and all that kind of stuff. So whenever you're asking it to build a strategy, we have instructed it to first go off and do a bunch of research around the current market conditions, and then go off and load certain skills, and then build this thing for you. Right, so you see here that it was actually able to build that out. Um, there you go, and here it basically explains how it all works. Calculate the 200-day moving average. There's a nice image here showing what it does. We also added this stuff back. We used to have this before, but now we've added it back again where it says what changed in this revision and how your strategy works, right? So how your strategy works, you can open it up and it's a really nice description of exactly what this thing's doing, right? So the Boss Bot strategy is a trend following system designed to trade SPY assets based on its relationship with a 200-day simple moving average. The strategy operates on daily cadence, evaluating market conditions once per day to determine whether to enter or exit a position. And then entry and exit mechanics are governed by the following rules, right? And so you can like basically go into all this stuff. There's the entry, there's the exit, there's position sizing. So it goes through everything in a lot of detail. It's a very nice description of how it works. And we have something that's what's changed in the revision, which is usually a bit shorter. So if you're making small changes, it will do that and show you like exactly what has changed since the last revision. Right. So we actually have AI looking at the code once it's made and doing it from the code. So it should be pretty damn accurate. And then you can see here, it started a back test automatically. It's waiting for capacity. So we trained it to do that too. So whenever it creates a strategy, it automatically runs a 7-day back test. And we've really improved how it does the back test rescue part of it. This actually hasn't even been deployed yet, but even without all these changes that we made, it's already gotten a lot smarter. And it's going to get a heck of a lot smarter, like I said, hopefully by tonight, once we finish this thing up. Well, there you go. Also, a bit of a different layout here for when it back tests, right? So you can see bigger numbers. It kind of looks a little bit more like a Robinhood. Here are the results. We also added in this really cool replay button. This is a bit because we needed to make videos of this to show it off, but it is actually kind of a cool one to watch too. So if you hit replay, you can see kind of what it looks like when it's going through 27%. You can see the days changing and see it as it progresses, right? So you can kind of watch what happened, right? And then the final result, I think, is a little bit more clear now. Started at 100,000, ended at 100,048, and kind of makes it clear that it was $148. The indicators chart has gotten a lot better too. There was a bit of issues around this, so we made this thing work a lot better, especially for like longer back tests. It's the indicators chart works a lot better, especially like when we have multiple symbols. We've really improved it a lot. I think we still do a little bit more here, but overall much better. And then at the bottom here, we now have we should have the sharpen romad. I think I have this fixed on my computer, but I don't think it's been deployed yet. So there's those fixes too. So yeah, so generally you can see here that was pretty quick. It got all that stuff done. It didn't really make any mistakes. If it did make a mistake, it's much better at fixing itself automatically. And then when the plan finished, it automatically hit itself, so it's not standing there in your way the whole time. Right? So generally, a lot smarter AI, a little bit prettier looking stuff, kind of easier to find everything. And just we did a lot of bug fixing around all this stuff too.
Yeah.
So a lot of improvements here. We also got Schwab to work well now too. Schwab is one of our latest brokers, so we've been doing a lot of testing with it, and it's finally starting to like really work well. So for anyone using Schwab, makes it quite a bit easier to do all that kind of stuff. Um, Funny, for some reason, I don't know why, but almost every single one of our customers that have joined us in the past few weeks has been a Schwab customer for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it is the biggest broker in the world,
Yeah.
but somehow, I guess ChatGPT or Claude or whatever is recommending us for that.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So, yeah, so we got like this huge flood of Schwab people coming through the door.
Hmm.
And Schwab up until a few weeks ago we hadn't really used it that much, right? It's something that people use in our open source library. We've had around for a while, but it wasn't like battle tested. And oh boy, we've had a lot of chance to battle test it over the past few weeks. I can tell you that much. I've had customers doing the most crazy things, like people just going in trading super fast and starting and stopping things. So it's like yeah, our Schwab connection has gotten to be quite good, and we're going to
Hmm.
continue to make it even better. But like our Schwab connection has gotten to be quite good now, where like I'm getting really really confident that like even the craziest strategies can be handled with Schwab.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and just in general, it's easier to load your brokers too. So we have this whole broker connections thing. We've made it so that the account values automatically go into here, so you see how much money you have in each of your accounts at a glance, right? So it kind of makes that easier. You can see all your different connections. When you connect something, it automatically pulls all that stuff in. And then we're almost ready. Actually, Maurizio, you joined at the perfect time. I think the thing that we've been talking about with you, where we can analyze all the stuff with the broker, I think we'll have that ready by next week. We kind of have the basics of it. We're still going through testing, but one of our developers is actively working on your thing right now, Maurizio, where you could
Oh,
basically go into it and say, basically you could go in and say, tell me about Palantir with Bollinger Bands or something like that. You'll tell it to like do some analysis with technical indicators, display that, and then basically say, okay, place the trade, and it should be able to do that whole flow for you from the agent. So hopefully by next week we'll have that working and launched. So yeah, so we made a lot of improvements here, mainly around our AI has gotten a heck of a lot smarter, and connecting to brokers has become a lot easier, and is able to do more with all those broker connections. Right. So what do you guys think?
I really like the animation, the replay, because I actually did that on some of my things that and just to try and get a visualization of how it's working on on the daily basis or intraday and then overall, right? And it gives it's kind of impactful, I think. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's see if we do this on one that's a bit longer. Let's say this one here. So it's a 2 TQQQ SMA. The other one was, I don't know why the chart data isn't loading. That's weird. Why is this not loading chart data? Let's say alpha pix. Does this have a back test? No chart data. I don't know why it's not loading that. That's weird. Maybe because these are older back tests. No chart data available. What the hell? Let me ask Codex about this 1 second because I want to show you guys like a longer one. Um, can you please look into this? For some reason, I'm clicking on a bunch of different things in production and it's saying no chart data available. Why is that happening? Can you please explain what is going on there? It's for this strategy and a few others as well, that for some reason it just doesn't load older chart data. And same thing with the indicators chart as well. For some reason it's not there, but it does show the total return and all those kinds of things. Yeah, that's weird. All of a sudden this is no longer available. Let's see if we go with some different ones. Okay, there's one. So some of them are working and some of them are not. What is that? Yeah, so say something like this. So this one's a little bit of a longer one, right? We'll go replay and you can like watch it as it like actually trades. It's kind of cool to watch, right? Yeah.
yeah, I like that, but sometimes what might make it look better is how long it's going to be, right? So don't have the X scale change right in time. Just have it um just have the 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 trade values populate a fixed chart. If do you understand what I mean? I think it looks a little bit better in terms of the animation because otherwise you're continuously compressing it, right, as the time goes on.
Yeah, I tried both. I think I
Oh,
know what you mean, right? Where
yeah,
this is like it just populates the chart, like so
right.
it'd be this long from the very beginning,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you can kind of
right,
see as it come in.
right.
Yeah, so we tried both, and
Uh-huh.
the reason why I kept it as the one that's like basically expanding as it goes
Yeah,
is
uh-huh.
because then it looks more like and like and I don't know if this is the right for a product feature or not, but it was very good on video, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Where it actually looks like you're running this thing. You can kind of see it day by day what's happening,
Yeah, no,
right?
well, yeah, I understand. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it looks like it's actually replaying it, right? As opposed to you're just seeing a simulation afterwards, right? Like it actually looks like that is what is happening currently, right? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think it might be a personal preference though. So,
Yeah, I mean, it
yeah,
might be. I mean,
yeah.
if that's the case, then we could actually change it up so that there's two different ways of doing it, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, if that's
Yeah,
something that you
exactly.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, just like different modes or settings or whatever, right?
Right.
It's like for Apple when they have the see-through stuff. People kept arguing about that, right? Like how see-through should it look, right?
Uh-huh, right.
I don't know if you followed that whole debacle.
Well, not really, but I understand yeah.
Yeah. So like on Apple, like do you have an iPhone?
No, I have Android.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason I thought you had Android, but yeah, it's on Apple, the new version that came out last year, they have this thing called liquid glass where
Yeah,
you can like see through components. And
right.
some people are saying it was like it's not see-through enough, and some people are saying it's too see-through, and people kept arguing about it. So like it's very unusual for Apple to give settings like this, and it
Uh-huh.
actually allowed people to change.
Yeah,
do you want it more or less see-through, right? So
yeah. Well, the Mac OS for the computer has that liquid glass and it has the same thing. So yeah,
yeah,
I know about that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That makes sense. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so a lot of improvements to our AI. So if you go into our AI and start messing with it, I think you'll see that it works a lot better. We've done a lot of like stability improvements. We've made it a lot easier to link your brokers. We now support Schwab, right? So for anyone that wants to use Schwab, right, we've made it a heck of a lot better. I'm actually going to be running a bunch of money through Schwab too. I have around $100,000 that I'm going to start controlling with Schwab. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna hook that up sometime soon, and you guys can watch as my accounts grow or shrink. Um, but what I did was I have one of my accounts and one of my wife's accounts, and I actually opened up a bunch of new Schwab accounts. So now we're gonna take what we have, divide it up into a bunch of like little mini accounts, and then just like run a different strategy in each one.
Yeah.
So we'll have all that going. So yeah, so a lot of improvements
Oh,
across the board, especially with when it comes to connecting brokers or with our AI.
Schwab uses our API to trade. I wasn't
Yeah,
aware.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can connect to Schwab. It's actually very easy to connect Schwab. So if you go into account settings, right, you go broker connections, right? It's like super simple. You'll go add broker connection, then you'll pick which broker you want to
Okay.
use. In this
Nice.
case, Schwab, right? And then with Schwab, you could only do real money. With other brokers, you could choose paper trading or real money, but Schwab only real money. That's why we haven't had a chance to test it as much in the past.
Hmm.
But yeah, with Schwab, you have to go straight to real money. Um, if you want to use paper trading, you'd have to use like Alpaca or something like that to paper trade first, right? And then you authorize, click sign up with Schwab, and then it takes you to a page like this where you do your login, right? Here's my Schwab login. I'll log in. Right? And then you do the approvals, continue, right? And then basically that's it. Schwab done. And then everything gets connected and we're all good to go.
That's good. I might have to move some money to that then.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of people coming from Schwab. Like I guess it makes sense. I mean, Schwab is, I think, the biggest retail broker on earth. Right? Like Fidelity has more money than them, but Fidelity manages like a lot of 401ks and stuff like that. So I think the majority of their money comes from that. But when it comes to like retail trading, I think Schwab is by far the biggest on earth. So we're getting a ton of people coming through there, and we've finally been able to support them. We make it really easy to connect to Schwab. So, definitely go check it out. And like I said, I'm going to be running $100,000 of my own money through this over the next couple of weeks. So you can watch me do that, right? And yeah, that's where we're at here. Yeah, and then we made Tradier connections a lot easier too. So if you have a Tradier account, it's the same thing. You just connect here, Tradier, right? You can do a broker sign in or you could do API keys, right? They now both work. Right? And you could do, I think with broker sign in, you could only do live account, but if you want to do paper trading, you could do API keys and do paper trading with them. And then same thing, authorize, sign in, and then I log in here, sign in, approve access, and that's basically it. Right, and there you go. I have Tradier connected. You can see here, I have one account with 4,000 and 2.4 thousand in cash. This one I have 4 grand in it. I guess that's kind of the same there. Yeah, this one's got 5 grand in it. This one's got 10 grand. I want to see if this one actually started trading properly. So I moved more money into my Alpha Picks strategy. So this should be actually I guess 10 grand is still sitting in some cash. So hopefully it buys more soon. But this is my Alpha Picks. I have 10 grand in there. It's been doing really well. I have a couple other trader accounts. So it just makes it so much easier to understand like how much money do you have in each one? what's going on with it, and like when you actually deploy this stuff, it's just making it a lot simpler to understand what's happening. And now that we have this whole mechanism set up, now we could do all the really fun stuff. Like all that stuff now becomes possible where we can just like directly place trades through your brokers. We could analyze your positions using our AI. That's not currently available yet, but should be within the next week, where you'll be able to just like literally say, tell me about what I own at this broker. What do you think about this? Should I sell this? Should I sell that? Or should I buy something else? I could actually do the trades for you, right? So yeah, it's going to be very, very cool. And then we're going to have something that we already have something that monitors your account on a daily basis, just like checks in and does like a snapshot. So you have like a historical snapshot of your broker. But what that's also going to allow us to do is to give you like warnings and stuff. Like for example, this war just picked back up again in Iran. If you own something in your portfolio that maybe has something to do with that, we could actually start giving you like warnings and saying, hey, by the way, did you know this news might impact this holding that you have? And kind of give you suggestions.
That'd be
Obviously, yeah, not giving you investment advice because we can't give investment advice,
cool.
but it can kind of give you some ideas, right? And then you can actually execute them if you want, you know? So. Yeah, so all this grand vision is finally starting to come into fruition. It's taken quite a while for us to get to this point, and it's really nice seeing it actually work. Cool. Any comments or thoughts around that?
That was good. I'm excited.
Yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. We've improved the AI a lot. So actually, Maurizio, based on a lot of the stuff that you're bringing up and other clients were bringing up, I was telling Mark that what we did was we started to create evals around around our AI. So we would basically say, okay, if you tell the AI this, we expect it to check this and do this and respond in such and such a way. And we have like a whole list of those. We have 50 right now in production, and we're about to add another 27. So it's just like checking every little behavior. Is it doing it correctly? And then now it's like much easier for us to improve this AI and get better over time. You know?
That's
So yeah,
great.
so I think you'll find that it listens to you a lot better now. Right?
Yeah, it was giving me attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, don't do that. Like, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
don't do this. Knock it off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you'll find that it does a lot better job. And then Polymarket is also saying that GPT 5.6 will be coming out soon. So let's see, GPT 5.6, Polymarket. Let's see when it's I was looking at it today. Yeah, it looks like by July 9th or July 10th is most likely when we'll see GPT 5.6. So when that comes out, we're going to upgrade our AI as well. And we'll be able to go from 5.4 mini to 5.6 Luna, which I think will give a very dramatic improvement in how our AI is working as well. So by the end of this week, we should be seeing like really, really a lot better AI functionality through our website, through BotSpot.
That is cool.
Oh, and another thing, speaking of Polymarket, I actually got Polymarket working.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was
Nice.
shockingly easy to get up and running. I was like surprised. I'm like, how the hell is this working already? Um, but I got to work on my computer. It's not working in BotSpot yet. But if you guys want to work on that, we can, right? I was actually able to get it to place some trades. I don't know what the hell it traded, but something. Let's see. Continue. Request code. Enter the code into the email you just received. What? Enter this code into the email you just received. What code? Let me see. Uh-uh. Let me sign with Google. Let's see if this is easier. There we go. Okay, and let's see. Oh, I actually think I made some money. Cool.
Oh,
All
nice. I'm
right.
playing okay. Nice.
Yeah. So
It's good
place
to
some
always
trades.
hear
And like I
you
was
made money.
Yeah, I was down to like $5 and all of a sudden I have $20 in my account. So I think I
Hmm.
won.
Nice.
So let's see what the heck happened here actually. I don't know what the heck it did. So we were just like testing stuff with the AI. So like it traded
So,
God knows what.
so did they
Um,
also take like the probability of something's gonna happen, right? Like, for example,
no,
like
no. It
no,
just it just bought something just like test to verify
oh,
things
okay,
are working.
okay,
We didn't actually like make it, smart.
oh,
But
okay.
we can do that today if you want. I mean, it was working, right? So
That'd
we
be
can
cool
actually
because I
integrate
mean,
this thing.
like I think the one that went up was like was is the war gonna end with Iran by the end of the month, and it went like 90% chance no, you know.
Yeah, yeah. How do I check what this thing traded? How do I view my trade activity or whatever? Rewards, accuracy, status.
Like,
I can't tell how.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't done Polymarket.
Yeah, active activity,
There we go. Yeah, yeah, that has it.
position. No activity found. Why is there no activity? It did place trades, so I don't know why. Closed positions, closed profit loss. I don't know why it's not showing this here, but
Maybe
it
you have
did
to
it
have it
did
over the
place some
1 week.
trades.
No, put it over. Yeah, all nothing, huh? Had
Yeah, I
nothing.
don't know. I don't get it.
Profit.
Maybe we somehow bypassed Polymarket because it was doing like some crypto transaction stuff. So
Huh.
maybe it like somehow bypassed Polymarket or something. I don't know. I didn't get a
Well,
chance to really dig too much into it, but
yeah, 'cause I mean, right now it says profile 1919, cash 1919, so it doesn't seem like it did anything. I don't see any activity.
well, I mean, I think I deposited $30 and then we did a bunch of trading and it went down to like $5 and then now it's back up to 20.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, it was something like that, right? But
Here we
yeah,
go.
history withdrawal. Yeah, look, okay, so deposit $30
Yeah.
and then withdraws. I don't know if these withdrawals were trades. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look into this.
Yeah,
But if you
that's
guys are interested, we can work on this together,
okay.
right? Yeah, we can figure out what the heck's going on. But it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be really cool to have Polymarket working on the website, right? So you could go to
Yeah, it would be
BotSpot,
nice.
you could start, trading with Polymarket, right? Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, we can't go wrong either direction, finishing the AI, doing this. We can't go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
they're both very interesting ideas,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
they're all very good.
Yeah, I
well,
agree.
you know what I'm particularly interested in is if you could do if there's an arbitrage opportunity between the various ones. Well, hold on, I gotta.
Okay. Yeah, the arbitrage opportunity, we could work on something like that. The only problem with an arbitrage bot is we would now have to connect to Polymarket and then also connect to Kalshi or Predict It or whatever else. So right now we only have one connection. We'd have to have more than one connection to do the arbitrage stuff. But I agree, that sounds very interesting to me, like doing like an arbitrage bot. That to me seems like the most obvious way to make money with Polymarket. Cool. So yeah, so a lot of improvements. We made a lot of improvements to our AI, to system across the board. It just keeps getting better and better, smarter and smarter over time. So I think when we check in next week, if we have GPT 5.6 working and we have like the connection to your broker, you could like actually trade directly with your broker. If we have those working by next week, like this is going to be fire. It's going to be very cool. Like I'm starting to notice like a lot of new people that come on board, like they want to just connect a broker and just start trading. So we're trying to accommodate that as much as possible, right? When we first built this platform, it was really about like back test and research and that kind of thing. And the more people that come on board, they're just like, no, just let me trade. Like they usually already have something in mind and whatever. So it's like, let's just accommodate that, make that easier to do, right? So that's what we've been focused on. Cool. Awesome. Any questions or thoughts or, any feature requests that you guys have? What
No,
you'd
I'm
want to add?
excited about the indicators. That's the one that got me because I got some strategies and it involves a lot of indicators, and that's going to be the main thing for me.
Okay, cool. So what exactly is your workflow? Can you explain to me like exactly what you'd want to do? I think I already understand, but I want to just go through the details, right? Because like it's my understanding that you want to go in and let's say, for example, Palantir, you would want to ask about Palantir, how is it currently doing, and then make me a graph with Palantir and like Bollinger Bands, or I think you said you do Fibonacci or something like that. I think you said,
Yeah,
right?
it's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, so you'd be able to say to do that, and then it goes ahead and actually does that for you. And then yeah, and then basically displays that, right? And right now I think we have maybe I should talk to one of our devs about this. But when it displays it, would you want to have more than one indicator at a time on the graph or just one at a time? I guess we should support multiple, you know. Let me actually write to one of our developers here. Hey, so I'm on this session right now with everybody and asking about this indicators thing that is on your list of things to do. I just want to make sure that when you create these indicators, that it's very flexible, meaning that it can create all sorts of different kind of indicators, including things that are not inside of libraries. So I think you will actually have to figure out how to run Python code to calculate those indicators on the fly. And it might even have to create custom Python code to create custom indicators. And then we will want to display multiple indicators at a time as well. So it might not just be one indicator at a time. We might want to have a graph with multiple indicators and the asset price all computed using Python on a graph. Let me know if that all makes sense. Yeah, so this way we can make this thing like super flexible, right? That you'll be able to like calculate a lot of like little details and stuff. Or maybe the indicators get calculated by JavaScript on the front end. I'm not sure what makes more sense. I think probably back end makes more sense because then you could connect it to Claude Code and things like that. Does that kind of make sense, Maurizio, that you'd be able to do that?
It does. I'm just trying to think of the best logical way I want to do that, right? Because I got to think I'm trying to translate it from human term to, code term. You know,
Well, can you tell me like specifically what is the exact use case? Can you give me like an example of what you'd want to do?
well, let's say for example, right? You have um you're gonna have their Fibonacci is gonna do your support resistance, right? Then on top of that, you probably have like your 15-day no your 15-day moving average and your 50-day moving average, right? So when you cross the 50-day moving average on the positive side, it's gonna buy and it go into the over and will reach in the oversold. It'll stay in the upper slope. I'm talking slope terms now. It'll stay in the upper slope. You're gonna buy and hold, right? As long as we're still in the 15-day. It's still holding, and then when it reaches goes into a negative slope, that means it's selling, and it's in the over still in the oversold category and it hasn't dipped over the 80% threshold, you're still going to hold it until you come down to a negative slope and it goes under the 80% threshold. Right? That's kind of what I'm thinking of, what I want to do with the indicators. Um, and that way it's following the slope and the chart, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mathematical equation for it. I just don't have it off the top of my head right now, but there is a thing for it. I've seen some people be doing it and they've had quite a bit of success with it. And I was like, you know what? We should have a trading bot for that. And I wouldn't mind if we do it like a free trading bot for people to come in because just the theory itself is actually pretty good. It's going off the slope of whatever ticker symbol you're using. So it's gonna make money. Yeah, but you also have to, I forgot to say also, you have the distance between the 50-day and the 15-day moving average, right? As they're more parallel to each other, you're still in a good direction. As they come closer on their distance, you're gonna be closer to, switching to the, going in the different direction of the trend, trend, okay, trend.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
there's
this
a
is
lot of
where I
mathematics
wrote,
in the slope. I mean, just in the moving average that I've been studying. That's why I'm actually very interested to do this because it seems logical and uses some basic mathematics to do it.
okay. Yeah, so I mean, so I guess the gist of it is, so this is kind of what I'm thinking, right? Is that basically it would get the raw price data for Palantir, and then we would have something that calculates all these different things for you. Like you're saying 50-day moving average, I think 30-day moving average and Fibonacci, right? You want to do all those, right?
Yeah,
And then we would
your
show this graph to you so you could see it, right? And then our agent would be able to read that graph and then say, should we buy or not based on that, right?
right, it's gonna buy and sell on based on the slope. I mean, you're still gonna have your watermark that at the 80% and what you can do 20 or 35%, either one, where it's overbought or oversold, you know. And those usually ride. The problem is that sometimes when it goes up, it'll stay in the overbought for some time, and you're gonna lose all that potential money. But when you go back under the 80% watermark and it's in a downward slope, then you know that's gonna be your selling point because you know the trend is down going down.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? So the way that that I'm thinking is you'd be able to like start a new chat, right? Um, so you'd basically be able to start a new chat and say, um, get me prices for Palantir, tell me about the 50-day moving average. So I'd type it in like get me, this won't work right now, but for PLTR and graph it with the 50-day moving average, 30-day moving average, and Fibonacci. Right? So you say something like that, right? And then if I hit enter here, which this is not going to work, but we can get this to work. This, I think by next week we can get to work, right?
Yeah,
Um,
the thing is, there's the indicators are already there. If you can just, well, yeah, doing the math for it at a consistent basis is very hard to do
mhm.
with the bot. That's what I've been trying to do, and I failed. So I've been trying to do it other ways.
Okay. So here's an example of me trying to get it to work inside of BotSpot right now, but it is obviously not working, and it created a strategy instead of actually doing the getting the data from the broker and showing me a graph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So here it's trying to like create a strategy and like it created the Palantir chart helper. Um, yeah, create a Palantir chart helper strategy. Yeah, so it created a strategy, but that's not what we would want here.
No, but it looks similar like that. You see that? It looks similar like when it crosses.
Yeah, this is an image of what it would look
Yeah,
like,
it
right?
looks
But
very good
it's
like that. It's just the problem is it doesn't have the additional concepts into there, like the 80 day 8% March max and with that. That's what I've got called.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this isn't like actually real. This is just an image, right? Is say here it created a strategy, but it should not have created a strategy. It should have gotten the data from the broker and shown a graph in the chat window. Okay, cool. So I gave him this information. Martin's really good at doing stuff like this, and he's gotten a lot of the stuff working. So I'm kind of getting him to take the next step of like, okay, you got the back end actually working. Now let's turn this into like a product that people can use, right? So he has all this stuff because the way that this works is for legal reasons, we can't just give you data, right? Because like we have to pay a lot of money for that data, and maybe one day we'll just like pay money for data. We'll just bite the bullet, but we don't have enough users yet to support that. But as of right now, if you link your broker, we just pull it from your broker, right? That's one way of getting around these issues with data because it's your data, it's your broker. If your broker is giving you that data already, then we could use that and just display that, right? Do whatever calculations we need and all that kind of thing, right? So yeah, so that's the idea here. Hopefully we'll have that working by next week and you'll be able to start playing around with it. Cool. So yeah, so to kind of go a little further, so I would expect that when this happens, right, when I say something like this, it should, instead of creating a strategy, it should show me a graph with all this information on it. And then you could look at that graph and you could say zoom in, zoom out, or whatever you want to do with it, and then get it to actually place trades for you. Right? Is that kind of what you're thinking too, Maurizio, or am I missing anything there?
That's kind of the way I want to go. I'm thinking.
Okay. I think a lot of people will really like that because I've like I said, I've noticed a lot of people joining our website lately. Like when we first built this website, it's very centered around like back testing and creating strategies. But the more that we've been writing this website, the more I realize like a lot of people just want to trade, right? They don't want to create a strategy. They don't want to back test anything. Just let me like actually start trading using AI. And this will basically support that, right? So you'll be able to like analyze things, get a lot of data, pull data from the SEC, pull data from Federal Reserve, look at macroeconomic trends, put all that stuff on a graph, see if it's what you like, and say, okay, cool, yeah, let's trade. Place this trade, place that trade. Or you could take it a step further and say, you know what, I have a trade idea, and I can actually build that strategy for you and then automate it for you too if you wanted to, right? So that's kind of like the whole flow here. Does that sound cool? Does that sound like what you guys would want to see?
Oh, I definitely would. Just thinking about that, to have the indicators, as a tool and the Fibonacci as a tool to have your trades, it's really good. And the thing is, your theory, you can program to backtest it and really improve on it to see where you made mistakes or where the graphic made a mistake to actually learn and how to make it better.
Hmm.
I think it's a phenomenal thing.
Cool. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have that working by next week and you'll be able to start playing around with that. I think that'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I would love that because I got a couple strategies I can see. Um, and it would be so cool to test them out.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. And then on top of that, we're working on this AI stuff. Maybe even today, it depends what you guys want to work on today, right? Maybe we could even do Polymarket and AI stuff since the AI stuff takes such a long time to back test. If you guys want to work on both, we could even do that today, kind of like what we did last week. Um, every time we back test these AI strategies, it just takes forever to back test them because you have to wait for responses from Gemini or whatever. But I know Andrew last week you wanted to have basically our AI agent be able to create these other AI bots really well. So we actually started working on that too. If you want, we can kind of complete that, right? And then you could have like an AI bot that could trade for you if you wanted to, or you could have like a regular trading strategy to trade if you wanted to, or you could just like manually trade with AI, right? You kind of have all three levels they could go down, right? Either I talk to the AI and I tell it what trades to place, or I automate that and I could back test it and everything, and that runs for me automatically. Or I could take it a step further and make it so that the AI is making all the decisions and trading for me, right? So you have all three levels of like how automated do you want to get, right?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm really interested in the that third level where you can give it constraints, tell it what it can and can't do, tell it what you like quite narrowly, this is the reasoning that the areas where you need to reason and see how it goes. And yeah, just in the alpha picks area is where I want to use it for it to help sort through the different picks on any particular day, and given where the current portfolio is at, make a like a an intelligent decision on where to allocate.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, we could work on that today, right? Like, I mean, that's already possible from a technical standpoint. We just haven't made it like easy yet. You know what I mean? So all we would have to do, I think we just have to like work on a skill for it. And once we have like a good skill built out, then this is all very doable. You know?
Do you mean like is there the ability for just people to create their own like Lumibot specific AI skills like that?
Yeah, I mean that's what we do, right? Like bot spot, like our AI agent is like what's different about what we have versus Claude Code, right? Well, first of all, we have a harness that connects to all these different things, so automatically gives you all these tools and whatever, right? But then in terms of intelligence, it's system prompt and skills. It's kind of what it comes down to. I've been debating making our skills public as well. I don't know. That's kind of a business decision. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for us to do as a business. So I've been kind of debating that because there's trade-offs for that. But if we made our skills public, I think it could make Claude Code a hell of a lot smarter. At least for
Very interesting.
Yeah, at least for what we're doing, right? Because we've like f really started to fine tune these skills a lot about like, okay, this is exactly how this works. This is exactly how this works. Like all the like little details, right? Our documentation is also very good. So, you know, if you're using one of the modern AIs, it should be pretty good at making this stuff because our documentation is just like really, really thorough. But yeah, maybe the skills will make it even better, right? 'Cause at least it works well for us. We're able to get like a really like we're using 5.4 mini, which is by no means a very smart model, right? Like when I do my regular coding, I use 5.5 on extra high, right? This is 5.4, the generation before, and set to mini, right? So, but we're still able to get a model that like that's I wouldn't say dumb. It's not dumb, but it's not a 5.5 extra high, right? But we're still able to get it to do pretty amazing stuff because we have really good skills, we have a really good system prompt, we have really good evals, right? So that's how we're able to get this thing to do some pretty magical kind of stuff, right?
Cool.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. So why don't we do this then? I will bring up our poll for us to vote on. We only got two people here right now. So not gonna be much of a vote. I guess Mark will come back soon. We have someone else here on YouTube as well. Maybe that's just me watching myself, but yeah, we got someone else there. I don't know if they're watching or not. Either way, here is our survey. So here are some of the things that we can work on today if you guys want to do that. So we can work on Alpha Pix option strategies. Actually, let me see how that's been doing. I haven't checked on that for a while. Let me see how Alpha Pix options is working. So go my bots. We have Alpha Pix calls only live. Oh, look, it's actually up now. Amazing. We're making some money, guys. It's up 0.3%. It's beating the S&P by a little bit so far. Cool. Okay, that's good. We're up to 4,100 bucks. I made $12 so far.
What are the positions?
It owns one contract of CSTM. It owns one contract of GM and four contracts of Nexa, which is strange because it's only supposed to hold on to two at a time. We might need to tweak this a little bit. I actually was looking into it, and if you guys want to work on this, I actually started to tweak this a bit. So what I noticed with the options strategies one, so this one here, um, it wasn't working the way that, at least that I would have expected, because it would buy two positions, but then would just basically hold them forever, right? Um, so I started introducing some like when does it exit positions, right? And we can make it exit pretty close to before it expires, right? I think that's one really good way of doing it. Just like if it's going to expire in the next month, just get out of it, right? And you can roll it forward. And then um it also checks that you're only the top two, right? So I started working on that. I don't think that's implemented yet, but basically it's like if we go through this process. So basically, it's like let's get all the alpha picks, then filter them only by strong buy, and then look at the momentum on them, which ones are up the most over the past 6 months, and then those are the ones we want, right? But then there's actually a problem with that where for some reason this thing switched over to using a 50 delta, or sorry, a 65 delta instead of a 50, so it wasn't able to buy as much stuff. And at least an account like this is a $4,000 account, so it wasn't able to buy as much. And if those two changed from today to tomorrow or next week or whatever, let's say if something dropped off the Alpha Picks list or went from strong buy down to a hold or anything like that, it would not remove it, right? It wouldn't exit the position and sell. So that's something that I started looking into as well, right? The returns weren't as crazy when I made that change, but they seem more realistic to me, right? Because when we back tested this, I noticed one of the reasons why we got such a good back test result. And it was like really off the charts. I don't know if you guys remember, it was like 400% a year or something crazy like that. But I noticed one of the reasons why I was doing that was because it kind of just got lucky, right? It bought two and it just held those two, and those just happened to be the ones that like really took off like crazy, right? Whereas if it like changes more often and it like, it kind of has a higher probability of success, I think, right? Um, and like if things change, you can adjust to that and whatever, right? So if you guys want, we could definitely work on this Alpha Pix option strategy. I do think it could use a bit of love, so we could work on that. We could keep working on the AI trading stuff. We could build a Twitter trading bot, or we could work on prediction markets. This prediction market stuff is really cool. Poly market's pretty much working now. There's still a bit more before it actually is like working well enough to put up on a website, but we can work towards that today if you guys want to do that. We could work on an SPX strategy. We could use TradingView to create future strategies. We could do a poor man's covered call. We could do futures momentum bot. We could do the Pelosi or Congress trading. We could do insider trading, an insider trading bot, like not like insider trading, but I mean looking at insiders, how they trade and copy them. And then we could do a hedge fund copier, which we actually started kind of doing with the Citadel stuff, sort of, right? Although I guess that's a little different. We could do factor trading, or we could implement level two order books. It's another interesting thing for us to work on. Okay. Um, any questions or comments about any of that, or anything you guys would want to add to the list?
Which one would I vote for the skills approach? Is it the trading team?
Um, why don't we make that a separate thing? Because yes, it is the AI trading team, but why don't we make that a little bit more explicit? So I'm assuming that's what you want to vote for, right?
That or just fix up the alpha picks options one as well, because I feel that that's heading in the right direction, and we're going to build off that in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they both seem good ones. Okay, so I added a thing here, AI trading team skill for bot spot. So I added an extra option, right? So if you want to vote for that, you could, right? One of them is like working on the actual AI trading team. The other one's working on the skill, which they're similar, but a different thing to put effort into, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to work on here?
I think we're good. I'm good.
Yeah, you know what you're voting for? Okay, cool. All right, so let me launch this. You guys can go ahead and vote. And then I will see you guys back here in a few minutes. Launch. Okay, there you go. So it's live. You guys can go ahead and vote. And then, like I said, I'll see you guys back here in a couple of minutes. All right. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, good, thanks.
Awesome. Let me share my screen here, and then we can talk about what you guys voted for. So I'll end this poll. Mark isn't back yet, so he hasn't had a chance to vote, but here are the results for what you guys voted for. So it's pretty clearly you guys want to work on this AI trading stuff, so we could stick to that today. So we could work on the AI trading team, and we could work on the AI trading team skill for BotSpot as well. So to get BotSpot actually really good at that. Cool, awesome. Do you guys maybe want to tell me, is there anything specific that you guys want to be looking into here? Andrew, I'm assuming you're the one who voted for the AI trading team skill, right?
Yep, that was me.
Okay. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We want to be able to like build these AI trading strategies directly in BotSpot, which is not currently fine-tuned to do that. So we can get that working now. And then for the actual AI trading team, is there anything specific that you want to go into, Maurizio? Are you there, Maurizio? Okay. So I'm just gonna assume that basically this vote was for getting the ones that we have working to the space that we want to get to. So let's take a look at this. I did actually take a look at this Alpha Pix one really quickly as well. So let's see, where is this? Uh, this was it, I think. So for this Alpha Pix thing, let me full game plan is documented. Only checks backtest table, so returns not found. Line prod train bots. Uh, I thought this was, oh, this is actually something else. Yeah, because on the break, I was looking into why some of our back tests weren't showing the graphs, and it's because we made a change over the past few days. So I'm just gonna make that little fix here. And then this was for Alpha Pix. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just taking a look into this Alpha Pix thing here because we started looking into that. And actually create a new version, 102, that I think should fix this. Decide whether Okay, so can you please give me a very well researched and detailed game plan of what you think we should do, and let me know what questions you have for me? And no, I do not think that Nexus should be manually closed. I think the strategy should automatically detect that it has stuff that's not supposed to be running. You know what I mean? So it should automatically say, we own these two and then sell the other ones, right? So does the strategy actually do that or not? Right? Because it should automatically fix itself to get rid of the third position. Are you saying the product gap where the strategy can be fixed in a new saved revision while the running deployment silently remains stale? What do you mean product gap? I don't agree with this product gap. It's very reasonable for us to have deployed an older version. So I don't know what you're talking about a product gap there. Are you saying fixed trade option position enrichment? I guess that's a change to LumiBot. If you want to make a change to LumiBot, that's a much more detailed thing to do. Um, if that's the case, I'm not so sure I want to be making that change right now, unless we're like very confident that we could do it easily and get it working quickly. You're saying fix the explicit handle, the always on to scheduled update path. The prior thread created a schedule policy, but the current deployment still has schedule null. What? What do you mean always on to scheduled update path? I don't understand what you're talking about here. Please give me a very well researched and detailed game plan and let me know what questions you have for me. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get that moving. So this is our alpha picks right here. We'll get that sorted in the background. And then let's talk about these AI strategies. So let me pull up where we were working on that. There's the AI trading team. And we already started on this on the AI agent improvements. This is stuff that we're already working on. So do we actually have the ability inside of BotSpot and inside of the specifically BotSpot agent to be able to create and edit these like agentic type of strategies that use I guess inside of LumiBot it's called AI agent or something like that. I forget what we called it exactly. But it's like an AI trading team and all that. Are we able to actually do that inside of BotSpot right now or not? And what I mean by that is we should have a skill specifically for that and probably have details about the stuff and other skills. And we should have a bunch of evals to see if we ask it to build an AI powered strategy, will it actually do that or not? Right. So do we have any of that built out yet? Or what would we need to do to get that fully ready? So that in the BotSpot agent, we have evals and we have everything checking that this thing is actually going to work. Can you please research that for me? Okay, so let's see where we're at currently with that. And then for the actual AI trading team, okay, so we have
You
here,
just flip in between back and forth.
sorry, what was that?
Is that you just flipping back and forth between the trading team and the AI bot?
What do you mean by that?
Uh, let me just which one are we working on? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, so you guys voted on two. So you voted on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
AI trading team, and then the other one's the AI trading team skill for BotSpot,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And they're both highly related, right? One of them
Okay.
is like the actual trading team, and the other one is like making BotSpot make it easy to make trading teams,
Yeah, okay.
right? Um, that being said, I'm glad that you're back. So I think you voted for the AI trading team. Do you want to tell me like why you voted on that and what you'd want to actually see done?
Well, yeah, just the trade team, but I mean, I thought we were gonna work on when it makes its decision, we'll find out what or how to weight its decision, right? If I remember correctly, we worked on that last week, and we are gonna see like why it made the decision to do that at that one time, what it
So
analyzed, and what weight it used to make that decision between the debate between the two bots.
yeah, we could definitely do that. Question is
I
which
thought we were already
bot
doing
you want
that.
to do
I
that?
I could swear we were doing that already, but never mind.
Yeah, we kind of already have that, right? Like
Yeah.
we could do that through Codex. One of these things is to make it easier to do in bot spot as well. So you don't have to use like a Codex or Claude Code for it,
Yeah.
right? If you don't want to pay for it or whatever, or if you don't want to use it for whatever reason. But we could definitely do that. We could definitely figure out why are these things trading, and we could get into all that. Last week, we were really focused on doing bots for the Ray Dalio idea
Oh
and
yeah, I
the
remember
Citadel
that.
idea, right? Those are the two that we were focused on.
Yeah.
And the Citadel was getting really good results. And I think Ray Dalio was starting to get pretty good results too. Um, but I don't remember where we were at. So why don't we start with this? Can you show me the test matrix again of like all the back tests that we ran over longer time periods for all these different AI trading teams and how well did they do? Like compound annual returns and max drawdowns and all that kind of stuff. From what I remember, the Citadel strategy was doing well, but then when we back tested over longer time periods, something broke down. I don't know if we fixed that yet or not. And then the Ray Dalio one, I think we were talking about as well. I think those are the two. And then we were talking about um, the triple leveraged versions or like the high leverage versions versus the non-leveraged versions. And then we were also talking about getting it to run with news and Federal Reserve stuff versus not having those. So are those all done yet? Or what? Like, where are we at with those? Or do you still need to run those back tests? Or like, can you please give me an update and tell me what do we need to do here and give me like an update of the current back testing results and everything that we got so far and make it clear what strategy it was and like what version of the strategy it was. Was it like the triple leverage version? Was it a version before we made fixes or after we made fixes? Does it include the news and the Federal Reserve stuff like Fred? When was the last time it got back tested? Like, give me a whole breakdown of where we're at with all that, and then tell me what do you think we still need to do to get all this stuff fully completed. Where I think completed basically means we want to be running these things, right? I want to actually run these things and see how they do in real life, right? That's kind of the last stop here, but we need to make sure that the back testing actually works well first. Right, so can you please give me an update on all that and then tell me what game plan you think we should do and let me know what questions you have for me as well, because I'm sure you have a bunch of questions for me too, so we could be aligned on the game plan. All right, so let's see what it comes back to me with. So those two are going off right now. And then this Alpha Pix one, let me see where we're at with this Alpha Pix because I looked into this too. So Alpha Pix one, okay, you're right to push back. The clean answer is live right now. Da-da-da. Save strategy, yes. 102 does appear to implement the self-healing behavior you want. It rebuilds state from all broker options, computes the current two target symbols, and submits sell to close. Okay, first move. Okay, so first of all, do we have a back test of version 102 and how it compares to previous versions? I'd like to see a back test of this as well. I thought that we had that done already, but I'd like to see kind of where we're at with that. To determine whether we should be deploying this version 102 or whether we need to tweak it further. And then to answer your questions, your first question is, should the next move be to update this exact trader deployment to 102? No, not yet. I want to see the back test first. Your second question is box cash sleeve behavior acceptable as a live strategy? Or should I prepare version 103 with the reconciliation fix but no box? No, I definitely want box. That's why I'm also surprised I don't own that either. Like, why don't I currently own box in this strategy either? Like that's another thing that's missing. Right. And then your third question is for proof, do you want submitted sell to close to count or only filled sell to close plus two position read back? No, you need to wait for a fill. Just because you submitted something does not at all mean that it has been sold. You need to make sure that gets filled. And then for your fourth question here, you're saying, should the NA valuation issue wait until the strategy is safely running? The self-healing logic. Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get the strategies working first. And then the NA stuff seems like a fix that we need to make in LumiBot that's actually quite a bit more complicated. So I'd want to do that later. I want to get alpha picks working first, and then we can figure out this position stuff afterwards. Okay, so let's see where we're at with these AI agent improvements. Okay, so BotSpot agent can create, edit LumiBot AI agent strategies today through the normal strategy code editing. The relevant skill already exists. Oh, amazing. Okay, LumiBot AI agents. It knows about agents create, allow trading. Oh, wow. No shit. We already have a lot of this stuff. Okay. So it looks like we have it, but we probably don't have a bunch of evals around it yet. Oh, it does actually have AI training teams evals. No shit. Wow, we actually already have a lot of this working. We have more done than I expected. Okay, so why don't we test this out? Let's actually try this in BotSpot. Right, so I'm going to go to BotSpot. This is a new conversation, right? And I'll say, make me an AI trading team that behaves like Citadel, where they have different pods for different things. So each one of those will be a different agent. And then basically does like a has like a risk manager before it actually places any trades to make sure that it's well diversified, right? Because we don't want to be like super in one position. Like we want to have at least three different positions, probably as ETFs. So we need to have like a risk manager or something before it actually places trades. Can you build me a strategy like that, please? Let's see if this works. Looks like it's only doing research, so it doesn't actually seem to have part of its plan to build it. Let's see what it does. Okay, please actually build this. Okay, there we go. That seems to work. At least seems to be building something. Keep getting this failure. Can you please take a look into this and tell me why for this specific conversation, why did this update plan items, why did those fail? It kind of says a bit here, but can you please investigate it through logs and all that kind of stuff too? And tell me why this failed and what do you think we need to do to fix it so that these tool calls actually work? Please just do the research. Don't actually make the fixes yet because it's pretty annoying how like quite a few tool calls fail like this, and I'm wondering whether it's a more systemic issue or whether it's this one specific tool. So it seems to be isolated to this one tool, but maybe it's a more systemic issue. Either way, please do your research around all this in detail, and then let me know what you think we should do to fix it. For some reason, those tool calls keep failing. Is that startup? Okay, let's see what it built here. So it built a strategy. Okay, so research current market opportunities, bull, bear, and then manager. Okay, so it seems to have created a trading team. Let's see what it did here. Agent, create, there's a researcher, there's a bull, there's a bear, and then there's a portfolio manager. Okay. So it did seem to create it, but it got some things wrong. So we could definitely improve on this. But this is actually not bad. Like it actually did a pretty good job creating this. Like I'm reading through the code and it seems pretty reasonable. Actually, maybe it's even run pod and run risk agent. Let's see, on trading iteration, rebalance the targets. So run pod agents and then positions. Current non-cash positions, and then rebalance to targets. You know what? Maybe this actually will work. I don't know why I didn't run a back test, but let's do this. Run a 1 week back test. This might actually work. Holy shit, this might actually be done.
I think we did try a back test last week, but it took forever, remember? Or was that, no, that was the other one. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, these AI agents definitely they definitely take a long time to back test. So that's not, you know. Yeah, we really need to get this new version out because it's still a little. Let me see. How are we doing with that? Back to it's still working. Okay. It is listening better though. I only had to tell it twice, which is a little bit better.
Yeah, my kids are up to four.
Your kids are up to 4?
Yeah, like I gotta tell them like four times, do something, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's gotten a lot better now. This new version that I'm trying to get out, it's been working for like a few days. It's crazy how long it takes to make any changes to the AI because like it really like you have to like test it against actual AI. I'm trying to figure out how to make this go faster, but I think in general this is it's a challenging thing to do to improve on an AI agent. But it has been getting a lot better. And when we release this new version, it's going to get even smarter. And then Polymarket, like I was saying, is predicting that by July 10th, we will have the new GPT 5.6. So if that does happen, if it comes out by Friday, our AI is going to get a hell of a lot smarter.
It's doing a pretty good job. Like I've been messing with it the whole week, you know, and it's pretty impressive. Some of the stuff that it gives back, some of the response, some of the stuff that it does for you, some of the programming. It's pretty good.
Awesome. Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
it's going to get a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
You'll see some of the changes that we've been making, and it's like it's really getting a lot better. Because it just doesn't listen sometimes. Like I'll tell it to make a back test and it doesn't do it. Or
Yeah.
like I'll tell it to analyze something and it like goes off and does some random stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff has been fixed already. Like I have it on my computer and it's fixed, but um, but it's not available yet in production to everybody.
Ooh.
Let's see what happens here. So it's running a back test. Changed how this looks too. I feel like I want to change this a little bit more. So I don't like how it loads like this. It's constant little tweaks. Okay, so that's back testing. Let's let that go. But I mean, I feel like that's actually pretty good. Like, I mean, I think it like built it properly the first time around, which I'm actually kind of shocked by because this is a very complicated thing to build. And the fact that it was made correctly the first time around, I'm like really surprised by. But we'll find out once the back test happens. Oh, there you go. It failed. Okay, so something failed. Yeah, so this is something that with this new version that comes out, like this will actually get improved upon because when it fails, it should have automatically fixed itself. But okay, it needs a valid API key. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know why that was not required up front. That should have been required. But okay, please put the API key in and run it again. What? What the heck did this thing do? Let's try a 1 week back test. So it should have started it with an environment variable. I don't know if it actually did that. So okay, so I take it back. It's a lot further along than what I expected, but it's not 100% there yet. So we can get this thing fully there. Okay, so let me pull this up here. I'm gonna bring this over here. Okay, so first of all, um, we're actually much further along than I expected, and this is very good. You're saying add focus references underneath it. That's probably a good example, giving it examples. You're saying give it references. You're saying AI train team examples. That makes sense. We have a few examples that we could actually put in there from our documentation that we can use. And then I don't know what this other reference is that you want to make. That makes a lot of sense. You're saying add production gated evals for, okay, we probably need some good evals here. Um, I'd like to know more about those evals that you want to create. And they're saying keep deterministic checks limited to machine contracts and use LLM judges to code answer semantics. That makes sense. They're saying run targeted local repeats for new eval cases. Okay, sure. I kind of agree with your game plan. let's see, let's get this thing. We'll do that, and then we'll say, but it's still definitely not perfect yet. So I want you to analyze this conversation here. Okay, so there's a couple of things that it got wrong that we're probably going to have to correct. So, first of all, I told it to make me an AI trading team and all that kind of stuff. I said this big thing at the beginning, make me an AI trading team. And then it loaded skills, created a plan, did all that stuff, and then came back to me with a direction. But I asked it to make me the code. I said, can you build me a strategy like that, please? I asked it to build me a strategy, but it did not build a strategy. Instead, it came back to me with some details about whatever, which is fine, I guess, but not great. Like when I asked it, can you build me a strategy like that? It should have built a strategy. Okay. And then I said, okay, please build this. And it did build it, but it did have some issues with the tool calls here, which I have another agent looking into right now. Let's see. This is the agent that's looking into the issues with the planning stuff. If you could, maybe you could check its transcripts and figure out exactly what the heck is going on there. And you can figure out, okay, well, why did those plan items fail? That was another thing. Okay, but that's, maybe that other agent can take care of it, but at least please read through that conversation. And then it went ahead and it built it. So that's pretty good. Researcher, bull bear, portfolio manager. I mean, I would have expected it to be a little different for Citadel. Like if you look at our Citadel example, which is maybe kind of what you're talking about for references, if you look at our Citadel example um, inside of our documentation, it was actually structured a bit differently. But mind you, this is not the worst thing. I think this bull bear thing is maybe over indexed. Like maybe it's pushing towards that a little bit too much. Because Citadel, the structure, I would have actually expected differently. So maybe that whole examples thing would be a good idea here. By the way, so I created that. And then I told it to run a 1 week back test, and then it ignored me. When I said run a 1 week back test, it said it built the revision of the AI training team strategy. What's in it? Why did it respond to me saying what it built? I did not ask it that. I asked it to run a 1 week back test and it ignored me. And then I told it, what? This is not what I asked for. I told you to run a 1 week back test. And then it actually did run the back test. But then the problem is that the back test failed. Okay. And now there's two problems with this back test failing.
I got man.
First problem.
Oh, we keep playing phone tag.
Yeah, first problem is that it did not use the environment variable, and it should have known to do that. And I don't understand why this wasn't done automatically, because we have, and actually maybe I do understand why, because we have like an AI that basically checks whenever whenever you create a strategy revision, it whenever it ran a strategy revision, it would check what API keys are required. But I guess in this case, that AI did not find what API keys were required because it doesn't know that the AI agent stuff actually requires an API key. So maybe we could change either that inside of LumiBot to make that more direct, that there needs to be like an API key somewhere in the actual code. Or maybe we could teach the AI that actually is making this determination. Whenever you save a revision, it could determine what uh, environment variables it needs. And if it's using an AI agent, then it knows that it requires at least a Gemini API key or an OpenAI API key or an Anthropic API key or whatever. I think you could find that in the Lumibot code and actually see what I'm talking about there. Okay, so that was a problem when the backtest started. And then there's also a problem with this backtest because when it failed, the hook did not get called correctly, which I thought we fixed that. I have another agent that's kind of working on that, but why didn't the hook automatically go and say, fix this? Uh, Um, maybe this is because what we have locally has not been deployed yet. I mean, basically, we did a lot of work around this, and this agent is basically working on that. So if you want to read through that chat transcript, you could see. But basically, that agent is working on all this backtest recovery stuff. So maybe that will fix itself. But like, you know what I mean? Like the backtest ran, it should have known to have that environment variable. That could be part of the skill. And it should have been basically there's a field in the database for strategy revisions where it requires a certain API key. That wasn't done correctly. So we could talk about why that was not done correctly. But either way, yeah, it failed. I understood why it failed because it needed the API key, and then I told it that should have been required, but okay. Please put that API key in and run it again. And then it loaded some skills, ran the back test again, and started the 1 week back test. And that worked out well. And then we had another two failures of tools. We had an update plan items tool failure and then an adding plan item tool failure. Both of those failed. So I don't know what we need better there, tool descriptions or whatever. But those failed and then started a fresh back test. Okay, and it did it correctly with the Gemini API key, but then again, it still failed again, and again did not try to save itself, and I still don't understand why it's not working. So there's a lot of issues here across the board. Please take your time to research all of this, and then tell me what do you think we should do to get all this stuff fixed and working properly. Take your time, research everything very thoroughly, and then give me a very well researched and detailed game plan, and let me know what questions you have for me. Okay, so we got that working on. Let me see what's going on here. Please finish what you were working on. Okay, so we'll let those go off and do its own thing. And here's the actual AI trading team. Okay, so no, the final Ray Dalio is not done yet. The final data on high leverage variance exists, but they only got smoke tested. Fred worked. Alpaca News was called, but returned for when authorized. So I would not trust the data. Okay. So can you first make sure that you actually have an Alpaca API key that works first before you do this? Like, why are you using one that's not even working? You should first verify that. And then this chart that you gave me is pretty damn hard to read. Okay, so you're saying there's Ray Dalio V3 deployable baseline harness. I don't know what the hell that means. What does V3 deployable baseline harness mean? It's also very difficult to read this table because everything is so squished.
Yeah. Uh, okay. I got it now.
You
You,
got it?
yeah, I'm falling straight down from the Kegger, Kegger. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so I'm trying to understand what is this V3 versus V4. There's V3 deployable baseline harness, and there's V4 diversified idea meritocracy. I don't really know what the difference
What
is.
the
I
difference?
think one of them is diversified. I think maybe the first one is just doing one asset at a time,
Uh-huh.
and then the second one is doing like a more diversified thing.
More than one. I mean, can we
Yeah,
ask him
that's
to
like
find out what the difference is?
yeah, that's I'm talking right now to it as well. So
Oh,
it's
I'm
listening
sorry.
to
I
this
thought you were talking to
conversation.
me. My bad.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of both, right? Like I'm talking to you, but also the agent that's
Okay.
listening in and like please explain what the hell this thing is, right? So we have V4 diversified idea meritocracy, and then we have V5 leverage enabled, and somehow leverage enabled got the exact same result as V4, which I think what we had before was that like it was just a little bit too lenient on like leverage. Like, are you actually going to leverage or not? And I think it just chose not to leverage, which is not acceptable for leveraged enabled. Right? When it's leveraged, it should be leveraged, right? And I thought that we fixed that. And there's Ray Dalio original baseline, which I don't even know what the difference is there, and I don't even know why we're talking about that. And there's bull bear leveraged, which again, I don't know why that's even on the list here. And then we only have one citadel, but I thought we had several different citadels. What happened to the regular citadel? What happened to the one with the news and without the news? I only see the leveraged result here, nothing else. And then there's again the bull bear leveraged, which again, we're not talking about the bull bear leveraged ETF. We don't want to do that. We're talking about Ray Dalio and Citadel. I got several of these Ray Dalios, but it's not very clear what each one of them does, and it's very hard to read the chart. I really only care about the CAGR and the max drawdown. I don't care about Sharp, Sortino, or Romad. But I'm also wondering why the hell are those NA? Why are those coming back as NA? But yeah, I care about the CAGR, the max drawdown. Um, you're saying that it failed with metrics. I don't know why. What do you mean failed with metrics? The window makes sense. These are the 1 year back tests, so those are good. And it's saying data is Gemini only. So none of these actually ran with the correct data. So that's a problem, obviously. And these versions, you need to explain those a hell of a lot better. And then here we have the big short period context. Citadel V1 did 17% total. Yeah, but that's over a very short time period. We only care about 1 year or more. I don't care if it was 6 months. 6 months is not a real test. And you're saying final Ray Citadel matrix status. So Ray Dalio V9. What is V9 and V10? First of all, I hope these are two different strategies. Ray Dalio leveraged and Ray Dalio regular should be two separate strategies. Same thing with Citadel regular versus Citadel leverage. That should not be V9 and V10 or V8 and V9. Those should be two completely separate strategies, right? Like leveraged Ray Dalio and leveraged Citadel are their own strategies, not just different versions. And I don't care about the Bill Ackman or any of that kind of stuff. That is not relevant. I only care about Ray Dalio and Citadel. And then you're saying what we still need to do. You're saying confirm deploy LumiBot botspot runtime has the fixes. Alpaca News ENV names. We did a LumiBot deploy. We actually just deployed it earlier today. So presumably that got deployed. The LumiBot News ENV names, but really did I thought that that was already done inside of LumiBot, right? I thought that that was just like a bot spot strategy fix. And maybe that's something we even need to improve in our skills in BotSpot to talk about these environment variable names for Alpaca News and for Fred, right? Maybe that's something that needs to be in the skills as well. And then 30-minute heartbeat. I don't know, was that deployed? Can you check whether that got deployed? Because I think we deployed a lot of this stuff already. And he's saying Gemini context pruning registry. I think we deployed that. Like, check whether all this stuff was deployed because I think it was. I think all of this has been deployed. You need to do your research around this. And then the second thing here is rerun the 5 trading day smokes. Yes, but we need to make sure that these things are divided up correctly. One strategy is for leverage, the other strategy is not. So these should be four different strategies, not two strategies and four different versions. They should be legitimately four different strategies. All right, and you're saying promote only passing smokes to 1 year runs. Okay. We don't need to run all four smokes. I mean, we could just run one and learn a lot from it already. Why do we need to run all that many smokes? All right. And they're saying do not paper deploy until at least one final variant has one clean year completion, acceptable max drawdown, and real failed trades. And then Fred used successfully, Alpaca used successfully, no 401. Yeah, I agree with basically all of that there, right? Don't deploy until all those things are correct. Okay, so I think that there's a lot of research required here. Um, I don't like the table you gave me. It's very confusing and it's old versions clearly. So I don't even know why you're showing me those old versions. Actually, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing that, but we need to run it with the new versions. And then you have a question for me here. You're saying what max drawdown is acceptable for a leveraged paper deployment? My default would be regular variance should stay under roughly 20-25%. And then leverage variance can tolerate more. But anything around 50% plus should be a serious red flag if the return is high. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, crazy high max drawdowns are definitely not good. So, but that's not like a complete no. But yeah, I mean, I guess that matters. Like let's judge that on a case by case basis. Okay, so please go off and do all of your research. There's a lot of research required here. Take your time, research everything very thoroughly, then come back to me with an updated game plan. Let me know what you think the game plan should be in as much detail as possible. Make sure it's a very well researched and very detailed game plan. And then let me know what questions you have for me. And I expect more than one question. You should ask me several different questions so we can get aligned. Okay. And is there anything else that you're curious about, Mauricio? Anything else that you'd want to add to this? Maurizio, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on there. No, I
Yeah,
think
no problem.
that's it, man.
Yeah, it looks like we have some newer versions that fixed a bunch of stuff. We just haven't ran them yet.
Yeah,
And we created like a leveraged version and a non-leveraged version. So I think those need to be
yeah,
split up better. So it looks like it's almost there. Like I mean, I'd like to like run all of these.
yeah. So would I.
We
It'd be
now
nice.
what was that?
It'd be nice to see how they
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah, we now have this new thing called scheduled deployments.
uh-huh.
And it makes it way, way cheaper for us to run strategies. So I could run like a ton of these things,
Oh, really?
right?
Okay.
Yeah, like we actually got that working. It's still like under testing a bit. We're still testing pretty thoroughly, but this would be actually a great thing to test out. Let's see if all four of these work properly. And we could run them for a hell of a lot cheaper than they used to be. So I could run all four and just see Ray Dalio and Citadel, high leverage and low leverage. Let's see how they do. Right. And we have
Yeah,
back
pretty good.
tests to see, you know.
Very good. I, I'm hoping I'm working on the strategy for us, and like I said, I want to work on a low budget strategy for us so
Mhm.
we can advertise it and use it to get more customers. And
Yeah, for sure.
I'm getting some positive results, and that's a good thing.
Nice.
Like 300% per year, so it's not bad. Very
That's
good.
very good. 300% a
Yeah,
year is excellent. Yeah.
yeah.
What
And it's
does
a
it do?
simple strategy,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna do some more testing on it, and hopefully next week I'll have it more polished
Awesome.
and we can use it. What I would like to do, is honestly is just get like to get more people. Because honestly, the more people we get, the more big corporations look at us, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And so I was thinking, okay, if we can get something small budget, 5,000, and just say, hey, you know what? We got this strategy. Look how simple it is, and you can use it, and just join us, join BotSpot. I mean, something simple, right? I mean, I'm thinking of a
Yeah.
gimmick. for it, but if I can get it to work and we test it live paper trading for 30 days, I think we should give it a go, man. I would really like
Yeah.
to give it a go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, these ones that we're working on is great, but I think we need to have something simple because these ones require bigger budgets. You
Yeah,
know,
like the AI stuff, you mean, right?
it requires bigger budgets, and we're not gonna get people with that many people with 100,000 and all that.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think these AI trading ones need that much money. Like
no, I know, but
you have to pay
I'm
for
just
the
saying,
AI, right? But
yeah, but I'm just saying, w- I w- I th- I don't know what your pitch scheme is. Like, who's your main customers that you want to reach? You
mhm.
know, um. But for me, I think the lower bracket, the more the better. That's me. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our customer base, they definitely tend to have a little bit more money, right? Like, I
yeah.
mean, if you don't have any money, you don't really care about investing very much,
Right,
right?
right.
So it kind of naturally does that. But it is helpful to have strategies that are with low budgets because even with people that have money, right? Let's say like I got cash, but like
Yeah.
if I sign up to a new website and you send me some stuff, like am I going to give you $100,000 out the gate?
Nope.
Probably not, right? I'd want to try with a smaller account. Let's see how it works. It makes some money, then we
Yep.
move up from there, right? That's kind of how I would think about it too. So even people with money,
Yeah.
would probably want to start with a smaller sort of thing.
Yeah. That's that's what I've been working on for us. I was
Awesome. Very
hoping the
cool.
poor man's code call would have done it, but I mean it worked, but in 2026 it didn't.
Yeah.
2025 it worked. 2026 it didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. A lot of strategies are like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
it works in one year and then another and another. It's a
Yeah, it
different
depends on the
reason.
market, but
Yeah.
if I can get something that's just like constantly making money, and just pulling on there, I think that'd be a good game changer for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you building?
It's basically a flip-flop between TQQ and SQQ.
Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep. Just take those.
You
I
can
mean, they're
actually
not
make
that
it work with
expensive. Huh?
SQQQ.
Was that?
SQQQ is actually making you money.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
On this
found
strategy, it
it
made
to be
money.
very difficult to make money with SQQQ.
Yeah, it is difficult. The thing is, like I said, it depends. It really depends on the market. That's why I really want to test it. But on the
Yeah,
back test that I've been doing, I've done three so far, and I've had positive results, so it's not bad.
awesome. Very cool. It's great. Yeah, if you could figure out how to make something like I've said this plenty of times before, like if you could figure out how to get a strategy to work in a bear market, that's like the holy grail.
Yeah,
Like for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to make a strategy that works when the market's up and also works when the market's down.
yeah,
Like the best I've been able to accomplish is like it goes up when the market's up, and when the market's down, it stays flat.
yeah, yeah.
That's the best I've been able to do. All
I
right.
That's what I've been able to do too, but
Yeah.
I want to get something that does both, and I think if we do that, game changer, right? Because then people will be like, oh, let me just put it in this bot and just sit back, because I know it's gonna
Yeah.
make money up and down. That's a game
Yeah.
changer right there.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and just I
Cool.
mean,
Okay.
just a low budget, because everyone's like, let me test it out. I got 5Gs, I'll test it out. Then they'll add more money.
Okay. Cool.
But I
Yeah,
think
sounds
it'd
like
be
a
a
plan.
great pitch for us, for BotSpot. It'd be a great pitch for us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But yeah, this
Very
stuff that
cool.
we're doing here with these ones, they're great. But the more money you make on them, I mean, the more money you put into them would be better. I think it'd be like our premium ones.
Well, these AI ones, for the most part, they just trade ETFs. So
Yeah.
you could be pretty low budget with them.
Oh, okay.
Especially with like Alpaca. If you tell them to trade fractional shares with Alpaca, you probably do it like with $50. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's the options ones that are like you need more cash for,
Yeah,
right?
options is. But that's why I was hoping if you can do it with the covered calls, poor man's covered calls, I could do
Yeah.
it. And I mean, I did it for 2026, 2025. But this year is just when the market's on a downward trend or just flat. It's not doing it. It's good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just paying attention to the political news and this and working on this, man. I really want to get something going soon.
Yeah, it makes sense. This stupid Iran war started up again today. It's
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
annoying.
Oh, did you hear what also happened?
What happened?
They Israel bombed Russia.
What?
Yeah, they bombed some pipelines for Russia.
Like on Russian soil?
I don't know if on Russian soil or not. I just read it on I heard it on the radio,
Come
but they're putting
on,
Russian into
really?
it. Yeah. I think they were supplying Iran with some stuff and they bombed the oil or their pipes. They didn't make, they just said something like that. Heard on the radio on my
Okay.
way to pick up
Israeli
the kid.
airstrikes targeting Iranian affiliate assets that Russia uses for military logistics in the Middle East. Okay, I see. So
Yeah.
it's not like they actually bombed Russia.
Yeah, not the actual bomb.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. For a
Yeah,
second, I'm like,
they make
Jesus
it sound
Christ. I'm
like
like,
they
what?
did on the
Like,
radio,
what is this World War III starting right now? Like, what's
Yeah,
happening?
they made it sound like it on the radio.
Yeah,
And
Jesus,
you
that
know how they
sounds
get people's
scary. Of
attention? They said Israel bombed Russia.
course,
And I was like, they're just saying that.
that's not true at all.
Yeah, I know. That's
Completely.
what I'm saying. But I heard
Yeah,
that on the radio.
yeah, that makes sense. That's how they sell stuff, right? Like the news makes money by freaking you out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of
Okay,
course.
so okay, this is significantly less bad than I thought it was going to be. It's like
Yeah,
Jesus
no, no,
Christ.
it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just
Man,
said
these
they
guys.
said it on the radio, and I was like, "What?" I gotta check that out, and I haven't checked it out yet. But man, thank you for clarifying that.
These guys are just like nonstop at war. Like, when is this going to end? Like, when are
It's
these people
not.
going to stop killing each
I
other?
and I had a discussion. I had a discussion with my brother-in-law about it. I told him long time ago. I told him, look, you do not start religious wars. They are not
Hmm.
stop.
No,
They will last
you don't win a
forever.
religious war.
Huh?
Yeah. The only way they win a religious war is by killing everybody on the other
Right, and
side.
that's not gonna happen, right? And that's not
You
gonna
know what I
happen.
mean? Like, that's the only way to win. You
Yeah,
know,
it's the only
not
way
like
you win. I
there's
mean,
no compromise. You know?
yep.
Yeah.
You can't you can't do that. And I mean, and here's the thing, Iran thinks that they're the holy people and they're holding the land and they're doing it for glory. That's why they're attacking Israel, you know? And the thing is,
Yeah.
stupid Trump went in there and said, "Hey, you know what? Let's bomb Israel. Let's bomb Iran." And they
That was honestly,
retaliated.
I still think that was a very stupid decision. You know, like
Huh?
I don't like hate on Trump. I think he made a lot of good decisions overall, but the Iran
I haven't
war, I
seen
don't
any
think
good
it's
ones.
worth it.
I'm on.
Right there against it.
I pay attention to
Yeah.
him so much, and I mean, I honestly, I hate Trump. I honestly, I do. Huh?
Well, I can definitely agree with you that the Iran war was not a good idea.
Yeah, but do
For
you
him to
know?
start bombing Iran was not very smart.
So
I think he thought it was going to happen like Venezuela because they went
yeah,
into Venezuela, it ended in like a day.
yeah,
I think that he got cocky after
yep.
Venezuela and then thought the same thing would happen with Iran, but he doesn't understand.
They were ready
You're
for
right.
war.
Religious fanatics, like these people are
Yep.
not going to give up just because you bombed half their country. You know, like
Yeah,
that. If anything, it makes them even more angry. You know.
they've been preparing for 25 years for
Yeah.
war. They're not gonna. There's been no
Yeah.
progress. There's been nothing, and I told this to everybody. I knew this was going to happen. I prepared. Huh? I
Yeah.
prepared. I knew this was going to happen. And when he got first elected in 2016, I knew that the first thing he was going to do is end the Iran treaty. You know, I knew that was the first thing he was going to do, and I thought the oil market was going to react to it stronger, but it didn't. You know,
I'm
but
surprised the U.S. isn't in a recession after what happened in Iran.
it's going to be.
Like oil prices spiked so much that's like, how does that not cause a recession? Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised.
Well, so here's the thing though. Like I have a friend, she's in Idaho, not that long from me, and she works at Costco. I don't
Hmm.
know how Costco is for you guys, but Costco is always packed here. Like here in Salt Lake, we
Always
have the
endless
world's biggest
lines.
Costco.
Yeah.
You know? We have the world's biggest Costco, but she told me that they've been letting her only work 3 days out of the week because there just hasn't been that much work.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
I'm pretty sure we're going towards a recession.
I mean, that makes sense when oil prices spike that
Yeah.
much. I mean, like, how do you not cause a
The,
recession? Yeah.
the, and I don't know if you remember when I said the Republican curse, every time there's a Republican president, it ends up in a recession. I don't know if you remember that. I said
Yeah.
that when I said that against with
The data
Galvin.
definitely says that. I do remember going through that. Yeah.
Yeah, for the last 50, 40, 50 years since Reagan, every time there's been a Republican president, it ended in a recession.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
huh? I'm just saying the facts, but
Yeah, you can't argue with the facts. Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's
again,
absolutely
but I was just saying, like, when she was telling me that, because I was talking to her earlier, and she told me that, I was like, holy cow, that's not good. Because Costco
yeah.
is always
Yeah,
so
it's packed
busy,
like crazy.
packed.
But by the way, how big is this Costco? If it's the world biggest Costco, like how freaking big is this thing?
It's pretty big.
Like,
It's
I
pretty
mean, like
huge, man.
Costco's in general are gigantic.
Yeah, here
You know,
I should
like how
send it
big
to you.
is
I
this
should
freaking
send you the
Costco?
link. It's huge.
Yeah,
It's I don't know how many square feet it is. Let me see. Hold on.
I wouldn't even know how to judge that.
But it's the
Let's
world's
see.
biggest Costco. It's pretty big.
World's biggest Costco. Salt
Oh,
Lake City,
yeah,
Utah.
2100 South right there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. How many?
The average Costco is 174. This one's 235. So it's
Yeah,
almost
it's big.
double.
Yeah.
Almost double. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe let's say 50, 60% bigger than the
Yeah. But you
average.
know how you have Costco and you have like the regular stuff, and then you know where like the sodas and the stuff ends, you know how their
Hmm.
configuration is, like this side, the groceries and stuff and all that. This one has,
Yeah.
and then it extends even more and extends to more juices, more restaurant stuff, and then to more appliances. It's pretty big. But
Nice.
yeah, it's
Cool.
the world's biggest Costco.
Yeah. I love Costco. I'm a big fan. Like
Yeah,
we
I
get a
like
lot of
Costco
some
too,
cool
but
stuff.
I was like,
Yeah.
when she told me that, I was like, I got a little nervous because I mean, the Costco here, it's
Yeah.
packed, always packed,
I don't know. Have you ever heard of this? They say one of the best ways, one of the most reliable ways to predict a recession is to talk to strippers.
Yeah,
So when strip clubs are not busy,
yep,
that's probably the strongest recession indicator out of anything.
yep, yep.
You know?
I told
So I
that to
wonder
my
if
wife.
Costco is kind of similar.
Huh?
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. I told that to my wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna go to strip clubs and
Yeah.
get some research done. All right. So shut up.
How
I go, I gotta
busy
do
is it these days?
research. This is like our money. Huh? She didn't want to let
I'm
me.
sure she'll fully appreciate that.
Huh?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I was telling her that. Like, yeah, I gotta do get some research done. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
But
that's awesome, man.
I don't know. I see it. I don't know. I don't know how it is over there in Canada where you're from, but I mean, we're starting to see more houses go on sale now. Inventory's going up for
Dude,
us.
Canada's in like a full-blown recession. They declared it I think a few weeks ago, a few months
Oh, really?
ago, that we're in a recession. Yeah, we're officially in a recession. I personally think we've been in a recession for over a year, right? Like the Canadian economy is not doing well at all. Like ever since the tariffs came on Canada,
Oh, yeah.
that caused a lot of problems. And then they got rid of a lot of immigration into Canada, which was fueling a lot of the real estate prices. And now that's gone. And it's just like the whole Canadian economy is just falling apart. And people in Canada, they don't work as hard as people in the US because you have, longer maternity leave, longer paternity leave.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a different culture and all that kind of stuff. So like people just don't work as hard in Canada. And it's like it's starting to show, right? Like it's like, someone was predicting, like if you look at the US dollar versus Canadian dollar, USD CAD, this is good for me because our business is in the US, right?
Yeah.
So I get paid in US dollars and spend in Canadian. So for me, this is great. But look at this. This is the Canadian dollar was worth 1.35 in May. Now it's all the way up to 1.41. So
Wow.
meaning that Canadian dollar keeps falling. And the US dollar is falling too, by the way.
No, I
Like the
know.
US dollar is already not doing well.
Yeah.
Canada's doing even worse.
Yeah.
They're predicting this might go to 1.5 or 1.6 soon, which for
Wow.
me is great because then I get more money coming through the door, right? But it doesn't look very good for Canada, you
Yeah.
know?
But I see it. I think there's a recession coming by. And
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, the war is definitely pushing it. But I still think that we got too safe on
yeah.
well, too hype, I should say. It's like SpaceX. You see what SpaceX prices was?
It's insane. Like I like people who bought SpaceX, like God bless you, but like I'm not touching
I
that
know
freaking
I
thing.
ain't stupid. I was gonna buy it
Like,
at 149 now.
yeah,
It
this
was
is
down.
down 7% today, as it should
Yeah,
be.
look
I'm
from its
shocked that
initial
this
price.
thing isn't down Yeah, it's down 7% since its IPO.
Yep.
I'm shocked it's not down like freaking 40% or 50%, you know?
Yeah,
This
because I
is the
think
most
everybody's still hyping it.
overvalued thing I've ever seen in my life. I've ne
I
like honestly, this makes me feel like there's a tech bubble.
Yep.
You know?
No, it is. And
This
you know
is
what?
tech bubble territory, you know?
Yep. That's why I stayed out of it. I stayed out
Yeah.
of it, and everybody's, oh, you best space it. I was like, nope, I don't touch
No,
that one.
not touching it.
I ain't touching that with
Yeah,
10
when
foot
something's
pole.
over 100 price to sales,
Oh
hell
yeah.
no. I'm not
Yep.
touching that.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not touching that. I was like, yeah.
Not to, I'm not knocking the company. By the way, I think Elon Musk is a genius, and I think the company is a great idea, and I think they're going to do extremely well as a company.
Yeah,
But
I think the idea is a good idea. Um, but I think that
valuation's insane.
yeah,
They
I
make
think it was
they
just
make
way
$20 billion
overvalued.
dollars a year, and they're worth 2 trillion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So it's over 100 times price to sales.
yeah, it's
Like the
way
only
overvalued.
thing that even comes close to that valuation is Palantir, and Palantir's it makes Palantir look cheap. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's crazy,
Palantir's making
man.
money, man.
Yeah,
Palantir is making money. You know, you can't argue with that. And they're getting more and more subscriptions. And I
yeah.
think, and so my philosophy is that once you get Palantir, you're gonna marry the company. Because when I worked for a credit card company, right? And
Hmm.
once we got with the company, it was basically a marriage. You know, we weren't gonna leave them, no matter how crappy they were, no matter how much crap they did, we weren't gonna leave them. You know, because they didn't want to do the research to change the infrastructure, do all that, to do everything else. So they stayed
Yeah, for
married.
sure. That's why
So what
B2B
I'm thinking,
sales is amazing.
huh?
That's why B2B sales is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And so what I'm thinking too with Palantir, as it catch up and it gets more customers, it's just gonna start keep making money. You know, I have it for the long run. Think
Yeah, I
that,
mean, again, it's not that Palantir is another one of these. I don't disagree with you about the company. I think it's a great company. I think Alex Karp is a freaking genius. I love listening to him. He's one of the most entertaining people to listen to when he's on
I
in
know it's all like,
interviews.
huh?
Like the shit that he said recently was all over the news. I forget what he said exactly, but I think he's a genius. I think they have a great team. I think the business is amazing. Like I've 100% you have my buy-in for Palantir, except the
Mhm.
valuation.
The valuation.
Right?
Yep.
The valuation is so stretched. You know what I mean? Like if Palantir was half the price, I might buy it,
Yeah.
you know? But at this price, and by the way, I mean, it could grow into it, right? If it keeps growing, maybe next year or
Yeah.
the year after, if the price stays the same, it now becomes a good company to invest in. But for me, this is just is too expensive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's the
That's
same
why
as,
I'm staying on it.
SpaceX, right? SpaceX is a great company. I mean, they're talking
Right.
about making like frickin' I was watching a video the other day. They're talking about making a moon base where they could like refuel on the way to Mars.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's like something that SpaceX is trying to build. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? They legitimately want to make a base on the moon, like a gas station on the moon, is what they're
Yeah.
trying to do. Like, how valuable would that be? You know what I mean? Like,
Go make
that's
some contract deals
crazy.
with aliens and
Yeah. Like
no,
that's
no, it
nuts. So
is.
this is like, like what is more valuable than that,
No, I know. It just that's very unique and it's good, you know, but right now that's in the future. I don't see no purpose of going to Mars, you know, except for exploration. You know,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
don't get me
so
wrong.
the thing is though, if you build a base on the moon, right? You build a base, a refueling station on the moon. It's not like, okay, fine. Elon Musk is saying he wants to go to Mars, and that's the reason why. Sure, whatever. That's his ambition. Cool.
Yeah,
But it has a lot of value outside of that, right? You don't have to go to Mars to have a refueling station on the moon to be very
right,
valuable, right? You could do like satellite repairs, you could do asteroid mining, you could get, energy out in space, you could be mining all sorts of different minerals on the moon. You know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of crazy stuff that you could get from that?
right. And that's something I agree with, you know. I
Yeah.
think that'd be beneficial. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's going on coming out. I just think everybody just bought the hype too fast.
That's what a bubble usually is, right? So
Yep.
like, so when the tech bubble happened, right? There's a big jump in prices prior to 2000, and then around 2000 it popped and crashed, right? I don't know, whatever triggered it, Y2K, whatever triggered it. But the point is not that like, okay, it went up and went down. It still ended up being very valuable, right? Like there's some companies that came out of that like Amazon, for example, one of the most valuable companies on earth, you know? All these companies that were around at that time, if they were able to survive that crash, they became some of the biggest companies on earth. You know what I mean? So it's not like bubbles in this sort of sense, right? There's not a financial bubble. This is like a technology bubble, right? There's you could define bubbles in different ways. Like there's, you know, if you're just spending too much as a government or if your interest rates are too low or something like that, that causes bubbles in a different kind of way, right? But this is a bubble based on like a technology and like anticipation of like future results. And almost always when a technology happens, like a big technology boom happens, a bubble happens, right? It happened with the internet, it happened with mobile, and it's happening now with AI,
Yeah.
right? And now this is starting to feel like an actual bubble, right? Um, who knows when it bursts? It could go up a lot higher before it bursts, by the way.
Yeah.
Just because I'm saying we're in a bubble does not mean that we're going to crash anytime soon. Um, but a bubble is kind of a necessary thing that happens when there's a big new technology, right? Because you don't know where to put the money, right? And you kind of have to overspend. You know what I mean? Because everyone's racing to figure out what's the next Amazon, what's the next Google, right? And you're going to make mistakes, right? And that's what causes a bubble, right? But that's not a bad thing for the economy as a whole, I don't think, right? But it's, you know, but you do have to, as an investor, be careful, right? To not overextend yourself, don't over leverage, don't put your money into companies that are freaking crazy valuations. You know what I mean? So that's my take.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm in it
Yeah.
too.
Okay, I want to grab some more water. We'll come back and we'll figure this out. This is the AI agent improvements. This is still going. Actually, you know what? Let's do this quickly and then I'll grab a glass of water. Um, okay, so we got this back. This is a more reasonable table. I did not start new back test, blah, blah. So the machine has a working alpaca new scalable key, but the wrong alpaca pair can still produce. Okay, the current citadel. Okay, there's the drawdowns. There's all the different Ray Dalio ones, but we don't have all the different citadel. So I read the real test matrix should be Ray, should not be Ray V9. Okay, they should be separate boss bot strategies. Okay. We got versions currently, and the tag contains alpaca news and contract. Okay. Okay, create four separate strategies. Refresh, select the current. Okay, run one sheep. If alpaca news still returns, stop immediately and fix. Do not turn on. Okay. Smoke the other strategies and over 1 year back tests. Okay, all right. Please get this entire game plan done right now. And it's going to take a while for these to back test, but we can get those done. And the AI agent improvements, let's see. Research the production conversation, then codex threads. What happened? The conversation exposed several separate failures. Agent ignored an explicit build request. The generated citadel shape was not really a citadel example shape. Agent ignored a run 1 year back test. Runtime secret detection. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff that we actually got to get into here. And then how are we doing with this? This is still going. Wow, it's taking a while. Okay, so why don't we take a quick break? I'm just gonna grab some more water and then I'll be right back in like 5 minutes, all right?
All right, sounds good. And let
All right. Hey, how's it going? Let me share my screen again here. And let's see where we're at. So the AI trading team, this thing is still going.
Yeah, I'm still like, man.
Awesome. Cool. Great. So yeah, so we got this AI trading team going. I have a feeling it's going to take some time for the results to come back. And then this is some of the improvements that we are talking about to actually support AI agents better. Let's see here. So server failures, Citadel, runtime save detection, the hook did fire, the recovery choreography failed. Okay, the file run uses saved environment variable set, but the key was invalid. Invalid Jibny API key is a different state. Injection work key validity did not. Interesting. Okay, so let me first of all tell this thing to log in. Okay, so we'll say the back test still failed. Why? Let's see how well this agent actually diagnoses this. Still failed because the backtest used the wrong Gemini credential. API, both Google API and Gemini key are not set. So the issue is not just missing key anymore, it's picking an invalid instead of the Gemini key you intended. So which MVAR did you give it? And are there more than one for Google/Gemini? Let's see. It failed because the researcher pod is still picking up. Okay, I understand that, but can you tell me what environment variables we have? Use the environment variable tool key or whatever tool you have to tell me what environment variables we actually have for Google or Gemini. And what key did you use when you actually ran the backtest? Okay, so let's see. So we have two relevant environment variables, key name, Gemini API key. Okay. The log show the runtime had both set. The Gemini client chose Google API key. Both Google API key are set. Google key was invalid. So failure was not, it was just running. Okay, so can you tell me which environment variable you used to run it? And then we can delete the other one? Hmm. Okay, you're not answering my question correctly because you're saying that there are two environment variables that are available. Then you ran a back test. Which environment variable did you choose when you ran that back test? I understand that you set both the Google API key and the Gemini API key. Sure. Do we know what was chosen and why? Right? Because from what I could tell, the environment variables that you have are both Gemini API keys. So I do not understand why it chose a Google API key for starters. Um, and then second of all, is one of our environment variables not working correctly? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let's see. Strategy code itself uses default model. There's no explicit. Okay. Both Google API key and Gemini API key are set using okay. Then API key not valid. Please pass. Okay, so the failure is not no Gemini key API key. It was the Google API key was present, took precedence, and the key was invalid. The save environment vars I can see for Gemini are Hmm. Can you please also do some further research here? Because I'm trying to figure out what Google API key or Gemini API key was used, and you can actually read the conversation I'm having here, and it just doesn't seem to understand what I'm talking about. Like, why did it choose a Google API key? Where did that even come from? And is one of my Gemini API key environment variables incorrect? And like, how can we make our agent better help me answer these questions? Right? Because it doesn't seem to know how to answer the question that I'm asking it. And I think we could probably teach it that ability as well. So can you please do your research around that and then tell me, what do you think we should do to fix it, to have this ability? Yeah, because it's running this thing. There's something in the code that's setting the Google API key. What the heck is going on here? Google. Yeah, there's nothing named Google here. Google or Gemini. Okay, so let's see what's going on here.
All right, Rob, I gotta drop off.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
yeah, it's getting towards that. I gotta go pick up my kids.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
All
Okay.
right, talk to you
Have a
later,
good
man.
night.
See you next week. Hopefully, I'll get some good news for you next week.
Awesome. Sounds good. Same here. Hopefully
All right.
I'll get you some really cool new features next week too.
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I've been taking advantage. I'm on it every day, man.
Perfect.
All right,
Awesome.
I'll see ya.
And hopefully you're seeing that it's getting smarter and smarter
No, yeah, I see
every
it.
day, every week.
No, I see it, but I just,
Awesome.
I see the attitude it gives me.
Mhm. We're working on that. We're working on
Yeah.
that. Huh?
Uh,
Yeah.
I talk to you later.
Awesome. All right. Have a good
Bye.
night.
You too,
Bye.
bye.